Now, going back to Eugene Nida.
Yeah.
Now, if I could just help the listeners here, you've studied this at a much higher level than I have, but I understand that his way of putting this was that there was formal translation. There is what's called functional translation.
Right.
Also, he used to call it dynamic translation,
Yeah.
but he changed it to functional because he didn't like the connotations that people were putting on dynamic. And then there's paraphrases over here. So you kind of this continuum away from the most faithful text possible. Now, Eugene Nida said that going after a truly formal translation is never going to happen. It
will not happen.
You get halfway to the wall, you go another halfway, you never really get there. There's no way to get totally to that place because languages are different.
Yeah.
And there's functional or dynamic, but I really don't think, this is just my opinion, I really believe that the Passion Translation is in between those two. I would call it optimal. And optimal is something that really goes after the heart of the formal meaning, the meat of what's happening, but also has those functional characteristics. It's one step removed from, actually, two steps removed from a paraphrase in that sense.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I find it to be a very optimal translation.
I like your
in that
opinion,
sense.
by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, and Nida would teach, and those who have experience in translations with indigenous people groups would verify that you don't want a literal translation. It will convey no meaning. It will have zero meaning to somebody in a tribal setting, non-Western world, trying to use Western concepts. But he would insist that you shoot for the dynamic equivalent. You shoot for something dynamic that expresses the heart of God, the Word of God, but using words in their culture and their language. Are we adding to the Bible when we do that? No. We're revealing the text. We're making it explicit to the hearts of people. Well, how about a love language? How about a generation today that everything is amazing, everything is awesome? Why can't we grab vocabulary and heart-deep revelation from the text and put it in such a way that it hits the reader, it hits the receptor.
The receptor.
Yeah.
We want the person to receive what the original people received. And that's where you move into the optimal zone, I think, because you really want to get the depth of those words, and not just a one-to-one correspondence, because words don't correspond one-to-one from language to language. No. And language gets worn out, just like a field can get worn out, needs to rest.
Yeah.
We have that in the Bible.
Yes.
But words like awesome used to mean awesome. Now it's just kind of like, well, those are nice French fries.
Yeah.
These are awesome. So words can get worn out over time.
I think pizza is awesome. Okay.
Yeah, pizza is always awesome.
Yeah. Like amazing. I know I'm interrupting you, but the word amazing is overused, I think, in Bible translations.
Oh, yeah.
Ekplesso. When Jesus spoke, it says, everyone was amazed. Okay, that's good. But that's not what ekplesso means. Ek, out from, plesso, breath. They had the breath knocked out of them. Every time Jesus spoke, they had the breath knocked out of them because they were so stunned. When is the last time you were stunned reading the Bible? See, that's what we're shooting for, is the stunning, heart-gripping revelation of the text hitting us in our language, the language of today.